We're back with Backstage Pass, and my guest, Cliff Sarde. I'm Johnny D. And Cliff, I know on one of your earlier albums you were lucky enough to get one of your songs featured on a national television show. In fact, Miami Vice played one of your compositions.
That was pretty funny because I've never watched Miami Vice, and it was a thing I found out about at the last minute. My mother actually read about it in USA Today, that it was on that night. They had called my record label. Well, it shows, you know, it goes to show.
Business.
Yeah,
Big
show business, right. Big companies. And MCA had evidently contracted to the license to use the song. And they never let me, know finally what the decision was, because I said, sure, when they first mentioned it to me, but I never thought anything of it. My mom calls me up from Sarde and says, you're on USA Today, it's on Miami Vice.
Well, that's been a thrill.
So that was actually pretty funny. And it was a real experience to have my whole song on, and it's
well, as
still...
you recall, right, it was a pretty long piece.
Right, it was 5 minutes,
time, yeah.
5 minutes. And it's still, I get royalties from Sweden and Belgium and places where it's just starting, over there.
That's got to be a good
So
feeling.
it was, yeah, it was funny, it was a real... some of the other artists on the show were Steve Morris and Jimi Hendrix, and so I felt kind of, that was kind of a cool show, because I never watched the show to begin with, so I mean, at least it was with some cool music,
When your roots don't begin here in the desert. You're from the East, right? From New York City.
Right.
You grew up in New York, big city.
New York. Boy. So nice to have to name it twice. Long Island, actually.
Long Island.
Long Island. Listen.
Is that where you decided that the saxophone was going to be something you wanted to pursue?
Yeah.
Back there?
Yeah. Basically, I wanted to play trombone, but I wasn't big enough.
I wanted to play drums growing up, and they didn't have any, so I took the violin.
But you do play drums.
They ran out of drums.
But
I didn't. No, I don't.
Eventually, you took them.
The word "play" is probably the wrong word, actually.
Okay.
Beating on them would be one thing, but
right.
But that was where
But it's interesting. I started playing rock music, and I fell into jazz because I play instrumental and I play saxophone, and I fell into this jazz category. But I've always played rock music, and I've always listened to R&B music. And I listened to jazz, but I was never totally influenced by it, like bop or anything like that. That's probably why when people say, what kind of music do you play, I'm reluctant to say jazz, because it's really not jazz. It's pop, jazz, rhythmic.
Cliff, what kind of music do you play?
Cliffy music.
Cliffy music.
That's what I call it.
That's right, of course.
That's
that makes
right.
sense. That makes sense. I noticed on some of your albums, Cliff, you featured vocals, and on your new album, no vocals this time.
No vocals this time.
Just the flow, it just felt different?
I didn't have a vocal tune this time, mainly. That was it. Yeah, I had other tunes that I felt were more important. I get to play guitar on this album, on one tune, which I've wanted to do for a long time. It just so happens the song is in E, and it's the only tune I could play in. So I told the band, if you ever have a song in E, I could play guitar in it. And this song I wrote in E, so it was real easy.
It works out.
So I'm playing a little bit of...
Once again, the album Cliff Sarde, it's called Dreams Out Loud. Check it out.
Available at your store.
Available at your favorite
CD.
record store, CD and cassette. I'm Johnny D, and this is Backstage Pass. And Cliff, thank you for stopping by.
Thanks, John.
Take care.
Okay.